Hey, brothers and sisters. Last night I was on Block Radio, and we were talking about the violence perpetrated against Black people. And you can't have a conversation about talking about it all and talking about the effects of it. And I had mentioned that the problem is with us why we having so many issues that we're fighting too many battles. I mean, we're fighting the right races, we're fighting people with self-hate, we're fighting other people of color who have more in common than they care to admit. We're fighting the negative images. We're fighting social taboos. That's a lot of stuff to be trying to combat. And I said maybe we need to focus and pare it down to certain things or one thing in particular. Now, my thing is knowing history. I think when we was fighting this racism during the civil rights era, we thought it was just about being integrated. And I think the thing is with integration, we lost a sense of self and a sense of direction. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you're a white man or a white woman or a black person, you want to befriend each other, that you shouldn't. But given our history, I think that black people should be a little bit more weary of our white counterparts, especially at this point in time. Because here it is, we have our first black president, and the rage and reaction towards it just amazes me. I'm not shocked, but it's amazing that they don't hide it anymore, or at least try to hide it. Not saying that I fell for it when they did hide it. But the thing is that we need to focus on is not just white racism. We need to focus on black self-hatred. That's what's causing a lot of our issues too. If you got black men and black women arguing with each other in front of the children or in front of other brothers and sisters who may be weak minded or maybe not be exposed, all you do is create this endless cycle of hatred or self-hatred. If you think I'm exaggerating, look at the videos out on YouTube. You notice the videos where black men and white women criticizing black women, whether they get positive, negative hits, they still stay up for years. If it's a black woman singing the praises of a white man, notice whether they get negative or positive hits, the videos stay up. But the moment you say something about black on black love or black on black respect, what happened? Videos start getting false flag, voted down. And unfortunately, some of these people who are doing this are black people or people of color. Now, don't get me wrong. We know when the white people are doing it because they can't believe a message and say what they're doing. Here it is. I'll create a channel. Every time I create a channel, it's the same person following me. The same people following me. I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm like, I'm not going to your channel. I'm not telling anybody doing any harm to you. I'm talking about us doing for ourselves. And this the same, and make it so bad. Well, not bad, but funny that these are the same people I was telling, why don't blacks do for themselves? Why don't they put themselves on anybody's bootstraps? Then when we do that, we see more of a threat. Then we talk about education. We know our schools are not the best, but guess what? Go in there, learn what you can, and then apply. And then parents got to be there to guide their children. Say, okay, son, daughter, there's a library over there. Son, daughter, I'm going to take you by this book. I'm going to get you a magazine. Keep these kids reading. Let them learn math and sciences. Okay? Quit telling your sons and daughters, okay, you can go play basketball, football, sing. It's more than life than just entertaining, jumping around, dancing, and mouthing words. Everybody can't be a football player. Everybody can't be a basketball player. Everybody can't be a singer. Everybody can't be a comic. Those are specialized professions. And now, if you think I'm joking, and you think I'm blowing smoke up your ass, ask yourself, why are they cutting the arts? Why are they cutting certain programs in the schools? Why are they cutting back certain sports programs? Because they don't want your children to have an outlet out of the so-called poverty that you've been told you live in. Think about this stuff, brothers and sisters. You pay taxes like everybody else. In fact, we pay more in taxes than most people. The media sit there and say, well, black people, they're poor. Everybody black is supposed to be poor. Everybody black is not poor. In fact, some of us are doing better than our white counterparts, yours truly. But that's what burns them up. That's what pissed them off. There's no way a black man or black woman should be comfortable because that upsets the dynamic. Remember, as little boys and little girls, they are told that we're the enemy. I mean, think about all these different battles we fighting. We're fighting the racists. We're fighting self-hating people. Now you got white women coming out talking about their women's rights. They try to couch it behind women's rights. We're actually talking about white women's rights. And what they do, they go get black women to get out there on TV and speak behalf of, give cover, because it won't look too good if it's predominantly white women. But guess what? That's what it is. And let's not forget the gay and lesbian transgender community. Now they're saying gay, lesbian, transgender is the new black. Wait a minute. How many gay, lesbian, transgender people had to go to separate washrooms? How many of them were harmed just because of their sexual identity? And then we got to understand knowledge of self. We're killing our people slowly by embracing gay, lesbian, transgender a mindset. Don't get me wrong. I do think there's some people are born like that. I really do. I don't hate them. But don't be trying to ram that shit down. I'm sorry, I did it again. Ha ha ha. Don't ram it down our throat. Okay? See, there's a lot of battles we got to fight. And this is why I said in other videos that our organizations need to reorganize, need to have a newer focus. We need to be self first. Be damn all these other organizations, the other groups. If you say you're a black organization and you say you're down for our causes, be for our causes. Do you think the gay and lesbian community is really worried about black gays and black lesbians? No. Do you think the ADL is worried about our people? No. Do you think the Asians are worried about our issues? No. But yet we want to be everything to everybody else. This is why I say, no, you pick your battles. Know when to fight, when to step back. Here it is. During the Trayvon Martin case, you saw a line was drawn through the sand by people in the media and people to the right. They made it a political thing. They want to say, well, the president did this. The president, they asked him a question. He was pretty benign with it. And this is why I know a lot of black people say they wanted the president to say something. I didn't want him to say anything because I knew what they were going to do. And I've said this. In other videos. You don't always want the president to know what's the answer. Excuse me. Answer certain things. Because they're going to make it a political thing. And then they're going to say, well, the president's black, naturally side with the black community. Mr. Obama has not sided with us on a lot of anything, to be honest with you. But black people expect President Obama to go and wave a magic wand. That tells you our people are not educated into how politics work. It starts at a local level. Just like when I warned family members and friends, don't vote for Rahm Emanuel. Now, I don't live in the city of Chicago. I live in the burbs of Chicago. And I told them, I said, don't y'all remember what he did in the 90s with Bill Clinton? I said, y'all forget what Clinton did. You had somebody, we had good times with Clinton. I said, huh? I said, maybe you did, but a lot of other people didn't. See, our people got a 5-minute memory. I might have to revise it. Maybe we say they have a 2-minute memory or any memory at all. So this is the problem. We find too many battles, and then we get on certain websites and tell the people what we're going to do. Now, I know you're going to say, well, didn't you just say? Not in detail. Trust me, I got ideas. I'm not going to dare put them out here on YouTube because the problem is somebody else is listening. We just need to do. Here it is in our community. I remember when I was a kid living on the west side of Chicago, you had a bunch of supermarkets. But around 1980, about 1987, 88, maybe 89, they started to disappear. And you had to ask yourself, why? Well, obviously, the suburban locations around the city, around the black community, was losing sales because the population was either getting older or people was going to new developments. Or the stores just falling apart and people went to other locations. And they said to shift that consumer from the black community to that suburban area, and they'd take a risk if the community changes into a black neighborhood or if it stays. In some communities, and surprisingly, I'll give you an example, Oak Park, Illinois, blacks going there all the time. That community is still diverse. It still holds its own because they price stuff so fucking high that you have to have a nice chunk of money to move in that community. But nonetheless, the supermarkets that was in Oak Park, the remaining supermarkets that was once destined to close, they picked up. And then the other suburban areas around it, while our communities became food deserts. This is how the foreigners were able to move in and sell us crap. This is how the liquor stores were able to get licensed and stuff because it was a vacuum. And a lot of us said, well, it's better to have something than nothing. And that's the wrong type of thinking. At that moment, what we should have did is mobilize and say, okay, Coca-Cola, Dole, or what's that? I can't think of it. Gordon's Fisherman, that company, Sara Lee, whomever. You guys selling your product in these stores, but they don't want to sell it in our neighborhood. They don't want to sit in our neighborhood. We're gonna go after you guys until you guys force them to put their stores back in our communities. Now, since the gentrification of the neighborhoods are going on, now them very stores that left the community are popping back up in the community. Don't you think that's by design? Then what they do is they go, then those stores in the suburban areas that was once open, they close them down, and then they get your smaller shops, your bulk stores type of low quality food or cheaper quality food. This is done on purpose, and I peeped this when I was 13, 14 years old. I'm 36 now, and so I've watched how slick these people have gotten over the years. But this is why I say we don't know how to pick our battles, because we have men and women who's supposed to be watching this shit ain't watching it. The ADL got people watching every fucking thing that's done, everything that's said. We don't do that. What the NWCP and these other groups should have did, say, okay, we got a chapter in every part of the country, so we say. We need to go in and see what these people are doing. They need to produce. They need to treat it like a business. You need to produce results. Who's your constituents? Who do you talk to? Do people get together and have meetings? Do they go to the local school board meetings? Do they sit on? Do they report stuff back to the head honcho? Do they do those things? See, I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, but Minister Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, laid this shit out many, many years ago and still talk about this stuff. But guess what? We're so afraid to join the Nation or the new Black Panther Party or any other black organization because we don't want to look upon as hate groups. Well, guess who designate those groups hate groups? The Southern Poverty Law Group. Guess who runs? Who's over that? I'll let you do the investigation. Here it is. Black people don't go out there getting on TV or go in the woods and somehow we about to do some harm to white folk. We don't do that stuff. But yet they try to make the new Black Panthers equivalent to any of these other groups. Because a brother and sister say they want to take somebody out for doing harm to us. Hey, that's the American way. When 9/11 happened, I didn't see us turn the other cheek. What did we say? We wanted revenge. What did we do? We went to a country that had nothing to do with 9/11 and killed a bunch of innocent people. We took out their prime minister, or their president. I won't say dictator because there's dictators all over the world, even here. Just that we give people the illusion that they think because they vote for somebody that they're not any less of a dictator. But anyways, we got too many battles going on, and we got to sit down. We got to decide which is more important. Now, like I said, we got to deal with self first. We got to deal with our issues among ourselves. But at the same time, we can focus on racism. But the thing is, we got to quit trying to include ourselves into their world and letting them cross into ours. And don't get me wrong, there are white men and white women out there who have helped us, who continue to want to help us. We cannot alienate them because we need allies in the fight. And a lot of y'all don't realize that. But don't be so willing to open your arms and hands and tell everybody every damn thing. Because that's how you lose the battle. This is why Brother Malcolm, Brother Martin, and certain organizations back in the 60s and 70s were able to be going to attack, because we had brothers and sisters who would do anything for the dollar or do anything to get a pat on the head to say, I arrived. We need to quit referring to our communities in the negative. We need to quit referring to each other as niggas or niggers, because that's not who we are. We are a proud people, but something happened in the last 20 to 30 years that have changed that mindset. Black men, if you don't want to be a father, wear a condom or get a vasectomy. Black women, if you don't want to be a mother, you use a sponge, you use spermicide, or get your tubes tied. But don't sit here and bring children in the world that you can't take care of and create another generation of automatons. If y'all don't know what that is, they mean mindless people, robots. Okay? We need to focus on what's important. Pick your battles. Choose them wisely.